All right, so let's have a quick look at this question. This question's coming to us from a prebac from Karlsruhe a couple of years ago. Now we're given some information to start with. We're given two functions. We're given an f of x, which is equal to px over x squared plus 2x. And we're given another function g of x, which is equal to e to the power of negative 2x plus 2 minus 2q. Okay, from there, we're given a couple of additional pieces of information with which to attack the question. Now, you'll see some limits here, enough to freak out some of you, but not all of you. So we've got limit of f of x as x heads towards 0 is going to be equal to the limit of g of x as x heads towards infinity. And then finally, f of 2 should be equal to g of 2. Okay, now I'm being asked in the question then to determine the values of P and Q by expressing them using the number E, right? So leave them in terms of E basically is what we're being asked for there. Now, guys, the best way to attack this, of course, is that you pause the video, you save the video for later, and you actually try to attempt the question all on your own, and then have a look at it when we're finished. What I'd say to you now, I'd be looking at this question. I'd go, okay, what's going to be the easiest thing for me to attack first? So the thing which sort of looks the least scary here is my f of 2 is equal to g of 2. I'm much more comfortable getting the image of a number than I am trying to find the limits. That's what I know for sure. So let's go and we'll crack on with this. Let's do our f of 2 is equal to g of 2. All right, so we'll put that down there. We'll get an f of 2. And that's going to give me p times 2, or 2p, all over, what do we say? 2 squared plus 2 times 2. Again, tidying that up a little bit, that's going to give me 2p over 2 squared is 4, plus 2 times 2 is 4, so that'd be 8. All right. 2p over 8, which is obviously the same as p over a quarter, or p over 4, should I say, right? A quarter p. Okay, we're absolutely grand. Then let's have a look at our g of 2. So there as well, g of 2 is going to be equal to e to the power of minus 2 times 2 plus 2. There we go. And then minus 2 times q. That stays the way it is. Now, you'll notice that I'm filling in for my x here every time, right? I'm not doing too much in my head. I'm showing every single step. The main reason that I'm doing that, to be absolutely honest, is to avoid me making mistakes. It's not even that that an examiner necessarily expects to see it all, although it's better, but mainly it stops me making foolish mistakes. So up here, sorry, for my g of 2, I've got e to the power of minus 4 plus 2, which would be e to the minus 2, and then my minus 2q, that stays. Okay, so what I've been told since earlier on, I've been told then that g of 2 is equal to f of 2. So these two I can stick equal to each other. I can say that p is p over 4, or a quarter p, is going to be equal to e to the minus 2 minus 2q. I'm just going to leave that down there. I might stick a little highlighter around it so that to remind me that this is what I'm dealing with there, is I'm dealing with the bit that I highlighted earlier on in yellow. I'm going to get rid of my workings from there. You should, of course, leave them on your page. I'm only getting rid of them so that my page doesn't look too busy and your screens don't look too busy right now. Okay, cracking on from there. Now I've got to have a look at those limits. Limits, they tend to be something which they stress some people out. Think, oh my God, what's going to happen? All right, but there's nothing like just giving it a try and we'll see it from there. Oh, I know what's happening. I want to highlight. There we go. There's my highlighter working again. Okay, and off we go from there. So limit. I'm going to have a look at my limit of f of x as x heads towards 0. So lim as x heads towards 0. And what am I getting? That's as p of x all over x squared plus 2x. Now, what I'd be looking to see is we're going to be able to cancel off some of our x's here, right? That might be an interesting thing to do. We've got x squared and we've got 2x down below. So let's have a look and see what that looks like when I factor out an x. Okay, so we're still going to leave our limit as x goes towards 0. Now, underneath the line there, I'm going to factor out an x. It's going to leave me with x plus 2. And up above the line there, I have p multiplied by x. So we can see that my x's can very handily cancel there. I'm going to cancel that x with that x there. And that's going to leave me with my p over x plus 2. Now, we were looking for the limit. Now, the problem before was if I'd filled in for 0, 0 squared plus 2 times 0 would, of course, given me 0. And so I was in trouble there because I can't have a denominator 0. Now, I'm actually fine because if I fill in 0 for x, I'm left with p over 0 plus 2, or p over 2. That's all I'm left with. So my limit of f of x as x heads towards 0 is equal to p over 2. Okay, I'm going to leave that just there with a little bit of green on it so I know where it's coming from. And then we'll crack on with the next bit. We're looking for the limit of g of x being e to the negative 2x plus 2, e to the negative 2x plus 2, negative 2x plus 2, minus 2q. And we're looking for that as x tends towards infinity. Okay, so as usual, we got a little bit of messing about to do with that guy first. The main thing really here is looking at that. What's going to change? The main thing that's going to change here, I'll still write down my limit as x heads towards infinity. Here, we need to mess around with my e to the negative 2x. What's that going to be? So e to the negative 2x plus 2, that's the same as e squared times e to the negative 2x. Why is that? Well, we've seen what a power does. We know we do it all the time. Look, x cubed times x squared will give me x to the 3 plus 2, or x to the 5. We do that all the time. So here I've got a negative 2x plus 2, so I can separate them out in that way. This is actually identical in format as to what I did right there. Okay, so that's grand. And so if I simplify that down even further again, that's going to give me e squared all over e squared to the power of x. Okay, that minus bringing it underneath the line, and to the power of 2x is the same as e squared to the power x. Now, in the meantime, as x goes towards infinity, this is going to blow up. It's going to get very, 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 very large. And basically, it's all going to head towards 0. This is one of my most important results in limits, that the limit as 1 over x, my limit of 1 over x as x heads towards infinity, it's going to be equal to 0. So that's effectively what I'm getting. My e to the negative 2x plus 2 is going to head towards 0. Okay, so actually, I'm not even going to put that in there. I've kind of showed it to you already. The limit of e to the negative 2x plus 2 as x heads towards infinity is 0. That leaves me with minus 2q, so I'm just left with minus 2q there. Okay, and again, I'm going to highlight this in green. And now moving on from there, I'll put this new result that I have. I know that these two things are supposed to be equal to each other. The limit of f of x as x heads towards 0 should be equal to the limit of g of x as x heads towards infinity. So these two results, p over 2 is equal to minus 2q. That's my second result, and I'm leaving that right there. Now, you've probably seen from here, you can probably see where I'm going to go from now on. All right, or at least I'm hoping so anyways. All right, we could have tidied it up at any stage along the road, right? I could have taken p over 4, and I could have multiplied both sides by 4, right? I could have taken p over 2 and tidied it up. But what I said, I just leave it as was given, right? And what I'm noticing now is I'm noticing on this side, I've got a, oh, lads, I didn't want to do that at all. That'd be mine. And there you go. Okay. And no, do you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to be sensible. And I'm going to back. There we go. And back again. There we go. Okay. Mighty hurling. Now then, now we're in the right space. So what I'm noticing is I'm noticing a negative 2q there, and I'm noticing a negative 2q here. So I can actually just do a straightforward substitution. Taking these guys in, I can go p over 4 is equal to e to the negative 2. And instead of writing minus 2q, I'm going to write minus 2q is also equal to p over 2. So I'm just going to write that as plus p over 2. Mind your signs. I'm doing a direct substitution of a minus 2q for a minus 2q. So I'm going to keep it as positive p over 2. So there we go. Now I've got an expression in p. So finding p should be fairly easy. I've got a quarter p. I'm going to take away a half a p, which would leave me with minus a quarter p. So therefore, minus 1/4 p is equal to e to the negative 2. And so if I want to get p on its own, I'd go therefore p, I'm going to have to multiply across by negative 4. So that will be equal to minus 4e to the minus 2. And that is my value for p. Done and dusted, found, and I'm moving on. Now, the next thing that I know, if I'm looking for my q, I can use either expression, but this one here, the green one, is going to be by far the easiest. So I'm going to go, okay, if p is equal to minus 4e to the minus 2, well, then I'm going to get minus 4e to the minus 2 all over 2 should be equal to minus 2q, okay? That's going to be this minus 2. I'm going to divide both sides by minus q to get rid of that guy there. Okay, so dividing both sides by minus 2q, that's minus 2, sorry, just minus 2, should I say? And there, just minus 2. So minus 2 times 2 will give me minus 4. So look, I'm getting loads of lovely cancelling off going on here. I'm going to get this guy's going to cancel with that guy. I'm going to get this guy cancel with that guy. Awesome, and I'm right there, and I'm sitting on my answer already. I'm going to go, therefore, q is equal to e to the negative 2. Done and dusted, nothing more to that question. I have now, my last step that I will do in pretty much every single question is I will make absolutely sure that I answer the question that I was asked. So I was asked to determine the values of p and q by expressing them using the number e. I now have p is equal to something involving the number e, and I have q is equal to something involving the number e. So I'm done and dusted, and I have the question solved. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed that, give us a little follow and send it on to your friends so they can make the most of this too. Talk to you later now, boys and girls.